How's it going, YouTube? Trinity here. Very glad to be back with another Dragon Discourse. You may see me sounding a little different right now. That's because I'm using the mic on my phone. Hopefully this will give a better result for this video. Anyway, I'm just going to go ahead and jump into it. So today we have a few things to talk about. It's going to be a bit more of a lengthy talkie video, but I did want to quickly go over the Sandland trailer. It looks pretty good. It is a 3D animated series. So if you were expecting Sandland to be 2D animated, it's 3D. So we finally know what the Sandland project was. That's pretty cool. Alright, so the first thing I want to talk about is that if you liked Piccolo's case in the Dragon Ball Super superhero film, be glad to know that you can now buy it as a phone case. At least in Japanese markets, this is pretty easy to get overseas and stuff. You can just go to Amazon or Walmart or another website. I think there are some websites that are specifically skilled in selling from the Japanese market, so that's something you might want to check out for that phone case. It looks pretty cute. Also, I don't know, I can't remember if I went over this in the last video. Maybe I did, but the V-Jump issue thingy was out, and we actually got some cool pictures of the Dragon Ball Super in color. So normally they don't really do Dragon Ball Super in color, but they decided to do it this time in these previews here. And yeah, so it looks actually really good in color. I mean, normally you'd have to wait a while to see it in color with the Dragon Ball Super color manga, but just in the regular editions, it's in color for like a few pages, and it's pretty cool. See Goten and Trunks dressed up as heroes. Looks like Trunks has a scarf and Goten has a cape, so that's pretty cool. And then Toyotaro welcomed everyone to the Jump Festa 2022 with Saiyaman X1 and 2 artwork. So you can see Trunks with the scarf and Goten with his cape. I really do like that. That's a cool touch. Saiyaman X1 and 2, that's cool. I like that. Alright, and before we get into the details of the chapter, we have another look at the Dragon Ball Z Kakarot DLC. I am definitely playing this on my channel. I know I say that every time, but every time I talk about this, I have to let you guys know that that's what I'm going to be doing. And it looks like at the bottom a preview at the PS5 and Xbox Series X versions. Just based off these screenshots that you can see on this leaked image, it does look really cool. I like how it's based off the DBZ version, like I said. Kakarot is for DBZ. So I don't think we're going to be getting Dragon Ball Super DLC ever. I mean, they went out of their way to go with Dragon Ball Z Battle of Gods and Dragon Ball Z Resurrection F, and now they're doing Dragon Ball Z Bardock Father of Goku. So we'll just have to see where they go in the future with that sort of thing. Anyway, we are only 3 minutes in, and the reason why I wanted to speed through that news is because this summary is a very long one. I'm going to probably be skipping some words, and I'm going to be taking my time with laying everything out, so please bear with me. Alright, Chapter 88, The Birth of Superheroes. So, if you saw my last video, I pretty much went over the main details, but we're just going to skim through it. So, Goku and Vegeta are back on Beerus' planet after getting beat by Black Frieza, and Vegeta is looking up into the sky, thinking about his new goal of defeating Black Frieza. Meanwhile, on Earth, Goten and Trunks are on the streets calling themselves the cleanup heroes, Saiyaman X1 and X2. I might just call them Saiyaman X1 and Saiyaman X2 is such a mouthful. I might just say X1 and X2. So there are robbers, and the civilians are surprised to see the heroes overturn Thieves' car. They begin to deliver their heroic lines in front of the people. And this translation is kind of sloppy. I don't want to say sloppy in a bad way, but it is a little rough, so bear with me. Let's see. One of the thugs point a gun at the heroes, but X1 destroys the gun and puts it in a bag and gives it back to the thief. Then the thieves charge them with knives, but X1 and X2 dodge them with ease. They finish it with a double kick, and the thieves are down on the ground. Again, X1 and X2 are Trunks and Goten. Trunks is X1, Goten is X2. Cleanup complete, says the two. The heroes unmask themselves after going to a rooftop of a nearby building, and it's none other than Goten and Trunks, who are now grown up. They talk about their dialogues and poses being similar to a game hero, Clean God. But Goten tells Trunks not to worry very much since they are a duo while the Clean God works alone. So yeah, they're kind of more original than the Clean God because being a duo sets them apart. Just then, Goten receives a news alert. Trunks gets excited hearing the word robbery, but it's actually a robbery of personal information due to a cyber attack. This makes Trunks lose all of his excitement as there's no way they can fight cyber criminals. Goten notes that Trunks isn't so good with computers. Again, that's kind of a big controversy. I mean, the thing is, there are these things like this and everybody goes crazy online and it's a huge controversy. I know it doesn't make too much sense for Trunks to not be good with computers, but honestly, I'm just going to wait for the chapter to come out, see what the translation is like, and even if it's like a out-of-character thing, I'm not going to be too hung up on it. Alright, where were we at here? Let's see. Just then, Goten receives a call from Chi-Chi, who angrily shouts at him for being late to home after school. Both Goten and Trunks haven't told their families about their hero activities. Goten changes to his regular costume. Trunks wants them to have a wristwatch to switch costumes like Gohan did, which is cool. Some Saiyaman referencing there. I noticed it says like Gohan did. So maybe, I don't know. And Saiyaman wasn't in the superhero movie either. So I'm wondering if Saiyaman has retired since Dragon Ball Super. Since he can't ask Bulma, he decides to ask Pilaf to make them instead. Goten leaves with Flying Nimbus, which I said this before. I'm glad Flying Nimbus is working his way back into the story with little parts like this. And leaves his superhero outfit with Trunks. Trunks lands on the other side of the street and wonders if he should change his outfit there or go home with the superhero outfit, since he can't risk any civilians to know his secret identity. Trunks gets surprised to spot his grandparents at a nearby flower shop. He quickly puts on his helmet to not let them know about him. This is kind of broken into way too much detail here, so just to summarize it, their pet dinosaur notices Trunks, and Trunks just pretty much tells him to sit, and he tells Brief that the dinosaur just trusts him because he's a hero and flies away. So yeah, goes into a lot of detail there, but it really didn't need to. Next day at Capsule Corporation, Trunks goes to Pilaf to ask him about the wristwatches. Pilaf tells him that Trunks is ready and hands over to him. Goten's will be done in a day's time. Nice. In return of keeping this a secret, Pilaf asks Trunks to keep the stealing of Dragon Balls a secret from Bulma. Trunks agrees and reminds him about his part of the deal, to which Pilaf says that he hasn't even told Shu and Mai about their hero activities. Suddenly, Bulma interrupts them from behind and asks what they're talking about so secretly. Trunks gets surprised but manages to avoid the question. Bulma asks him if isn't it his school time, and Trunks runs to school but sees Mai and Shu pick up a very heavy box and stops to help her. Shu asks Trunks to help him lift his boxes too, but Trunks ignores him and leaves after blushing and saying Mai goodbye. Bulma notices this. Again, they're just tripling down on the Trunks and Mai relationship romance. I really just 100% do not understand this. I mean, it's a weird thing. I mean, it would be different if Mai was a kid to start out with, but Mai is just a de-aged adult, so I don't know. It's always been creepy and weird ever since they started it in Dragon Ball Super, but I mean, at this point, it is what it is. I've kind of become numb to it. Bulma confronts Pilaf by telling him that she saw him sneak into his room and steal the Dragon Balls from there in the surveillance camera. Since he's obviously going to wish for something silly, Bulma wants him to hand them over to her to keep them in safe hands. Trunks leaves for school riding a bicycle, similar to what Gohan rode on in the We Gotta Power song, just not a Capsule Corp model. Again, it's really cool how this arc is kind of referencing and harkening back to the Gohan high school arc in the Buu saga. I really love that arc. Alright, let's see. Trunks' friend Compass asks him about the reason he's late, to which Trunks replies that he's been busy with some after-school work. Compass assumes it's related to Capsule Corp, since Trunks is going to become the next president, but Trunks makes it clear to him that he doesn't wish to be in that position. He wants more excitement in his life. That job is too boring, he thinks. Trunks' friend, again, before I go on, I just gotta say, it's cool how in GT, Trunks is the president of Capsule Corp. We see that in the first episode. I can't remember exactly if he was the president or if he was just a high-ranking official there, but he was definitely a big part in the company. So just some more differences between GT and Super that I find interesting. Trunks' friend Lula invites him to Butterfly Mountain for a test of courage game since the school hockey players reported ghost sightings. Trunks backs out saying it's too boring, but in reality, he's too afraid of ghosts. I saw some people mad at this, but it's really not a big deal to me. After school, Trunks invites Goten to come over and they play the Clean God game. Trunks wants to be more active in his real-life hero time, not in the game playing as a hero. Seeing Trunks' watch, Goten can't wait for his too. Trunks tells him that he used the watch once during recess to go buy 2 movie tickets to Clean God's first day showing. Goten thinks the ticket is for him, but Trunks tells him that he wants Mai to go out with him. Trunks goes to the lab to ask out Mai for a movie that Saturday, but she rejects the invite as everyone in the lab is busy fixing the helper robots. Trunks asks the reason why so many robots suddenly need fixing, so Shu tells him that these robots became disobedient and ran away from their owners' houses. Pilaf believes that this is no malfunction, but must be someone else's doing. Shu tells that, according to some rumors, there's a group of people who appear at night and modify the robots, causing them to malfunction. Trunks thinks to catch those guys to free Mai for next Saturday. Purely selfish reasons, which makes sense. Trunks gets Goten and goes out for the streets at night. The boys don't see anything suspicious in the area. Goten mentions that there have been reports of ghost sightings in that area too. Trunks shivers in fear while Goten is calm. Trunks says that as the son of a scientist, he can't believe ghosts are real, but Goten reminds them that both Goku and Vegeta both died once and came back as ghosts to the real world. Yeah, Trunks like, what the heck are you talking about? Like, come on, dude. Trunks bumps into a seriously injured face man, gets scared, and hides in the alley. Goten notices the severely injured face man do something with the remote to an old man's robot. Trunks thinks he's wearing such a mask to scare people. A car passes, hang on, I lost my place here, one sec. A car passes by the boys with a bright light blinding them. They suspect the culprit is inside the car, so they follow it. It leads them to the rumored Butterfly Mountain, where ghosts are sighted the most. Trunks is scared and he wants to go home, but Goten wants to continue. Goten reminds him that solving this case would let Mai go out on a date with him to the movies. Trunks overcomes his fear and is now ready to solve the case. Trunks and Goten find out their helper robots were reprogrammed to work at their factory. A heavily injured man in bandages notices intruders, but it's actually Trunks' friends. The man in bandages grabs Compass by the neck. Trunks asks Goten to wait outside as he transforms into Saiyaman X1 and goes inside to save them. He arrives at the nick of time and saves Compass. The zombies gang up on Trunks, but he easily sends them flying. Trunks hits their leader with an upcycle punch, but he blocks it. He says his body has been modified to withstand a certain amount of impact. As Trunks is about to try out another one of his finishing moves, the watch times out, and he loses his costume and his identity is revealed to his friends. Goten destroys the lights and takes away the schoolmates to safety, leaving Trunks behind. Goten tells them that it was this ghost's doing. They made them hallucinate into seeing Trunks as Saiyaman X1. That's the story he's going with. Back in the factory, Trunks defeats the leader by going into Super Saiyan. Trunks finds a safe. In it was a disc titled Dr. Gero. He takes it home to check it out later. Super Cop Krillin, my bad, really messed that one up. Krillin arrives at the spot. I was thinking about how he's a cop. He was there as he got a report from a nearby resident seeing moving corpses in the area. Trunks gets shocked in fear hearing moving corpses. Krillin further informs them that recently many bodies were stolen from the mortuary. People who saw those dead bodies moving here reported to the station. Sometime later, Dr. Hito returns to the factory at Butterfly Mountain. He notices all his Alpha soldiers knocked down on the ground. Alpha 12, the leader, gives him Trunks' school badge and says that a kid from school did this. Dr. Hito is pissed to see that the Dr. Gero disc is missing from his safe. The sushi business was starting to catch pace now, but thanks to Trunks, Dr. Hito has to find a new business to carry out his expenses. The next day, Trunks comes to the lab to go out to the movie with Mai, but Pilaf tells him that a lot of severely broken helper robots were collected from the Butterfly Mountain, so they need to fix it or they can't get to sleep. Trunks realizes it was him who did that to those robots. So again, some of that was kind of rough translations, but we got through it and it was pretty cool. The end note is, what's on that disc that Trunks found? Next time, Hero's operation begins. Alright, and that was from the DBS Chronicles account, posting that, so pretty cool info there about the next chapter of Dragon Ball Super. Are you guys going to be reading it? Comes out pretty soon. So, yeah, I'm really excited for it. I mean, I'm hoping, I know it's adapting Superhero. I hope it's not a full-on adaptation and they just kind of breeze through it. Who knows? Maybe this little prequel arc will be its own little arc, and then they'll do Superhero as one page, like how they did Broly. But if they do Superhero as a full arc, I hope it doesn't go on as long as the Granola Saga did, because we already know what happens in Superhero. And the manga should really take advantage of being ahead of the anime by just going ahead and breezing through Superhero and then going maybe to End of Z, adapting that with Super retconned in, and then going past the End of Z. So that's my take on it anyway. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Go ahead and leave a like and comment down below with a comment if you have something you want to say. And if you feel like it, subscribe, and I will catch you in the next one. Peace off.